Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the promos here for PEL. I was about to say Phase 3, but it's not. It's for Season 2020.
Season 2020,
or Season 2,
wow.
whichever you want to call it. I'm not too sure what the naming convention is they're going to go for, but myself and Lauren are here to bring you all the action all week long. Tempest with a 22-point win to start things off. It's a big start, and it finished in San Martin. Love it.
Yeah, it was a really fun circle, fun ending. I think that's the sort of game you want, right? You want those high kill endings coming out from Tempest that, again, I think a lot of people were looking at. They're a name that people have associated with doing quite well. Some very big individual players, literally and figuratively. So for me, I'm happy to see them doing well first game. Not only a win, but one with a great deal of those kill points coming in to boot to really supplement that and put them quite far ahead of the table because, let's bear in mind, this is 20 games, 19 now, of course. So you've got to think, any of those high kill counts, wins that you get, it's not a normal season. This is do it now or basically get out.
And the Finns on your screen there. Pressure. They tried to play edge, play scared. I'm not really sure what they were trying to do, but it wasn't the confident performance from ENCE. Let's put it that way. When you're looking at some of the way some of these players played. And there's a lot of players in here, like, I mean, the Joker's prime example, obviously, was Set, that played for Crow Crowd, and the Tab. Tab finished 6th and 6th in Phase 1 and 2.
Such a good player.
And just wasn't in a team for Phase 3. But, you know,
mad, isn't it?
He was such a good player. And so then there's the Wanderer. Wanderer had some mega matches, if you think, for M18. So, great. That PG18 is a solid lineup. They went out, I think, about 9th. Somewhere in there. Airstation, Mike, and Tempest actually the ones that picked them apart as they came down the hill. So the Wanderer on your screen, we've seen him. I think didn't he get 11 kills in that one game? It was in Phase 2, if I remember rightly. And I believe like Martin was saying they were going to take the team out for a stake dinner. Anyone that got over 10 kills as a player and he got 11 kills. Don't think it ever happened. Just throwing it out there. He's back in Berlin now.
Martin, take him out. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I'm glad seeing DA being one of the teams who made it through towards the final couple. If I'm honest, they pushed the way through.
It's a 4th place for them, right? With and they actually, and I love it because they were annoyed that they only got the 4th because they felt they could have won that, and they were in a good position.
They were.
They just got flanked either side.
Yeah, I mean, it's always those cases where it's, can we direct the attention elsewhere? Can we try and make it? You're trying to find a way around the situation to deny that, where you get pinched. But it's how it goes sometimes. You're fighting against the odds. So, again, another round of Miramar, and I do hope we see a circle that's quite compelling and fun. And as the lights go down, we know we're closing in on the action. And again, you guys at home, do remember, use that hashtag AskPEL. Put the desk to work. Ask him anything you want. I see those players in chat. Put him through his paces.
We had an important question to ask PEL. It was which stage or desk host do you miss the most? And I believe this came in from a K. Alaris.
Oh, K. Alaris?
I believe so. He was asking, is it himself or is it Rich?
It's the ginger. I'm impartial.
Is Sam gonna dye her hair ginger now?
Maybe that's the key. That's how you become a desk host. You go ginge. That's it.
Anyway, it is a relatively safe plane for all the teams involved. So as you can see, everyone's going to be getting back into the drop spots. Maybe ToWzErA is going to be, or ToWzErA, I should say, is a bit of a long stretch for DA. I'm just wondering, was I wasn't 100% focused on where everything was because, well, we had no map at the start. You guys at home, you of course can watch what's going on, and I can see it's squadded up now. That's what I like to see on the Twitch chat. So you can obviously have the map and the mainstream up.
Thanks Twitch for those great features.
Yeah. Just sort your moderation out.
What do you mean? My cat likes vodka. We are looking at this. I don't see any potential hot drops for now. A couple of teams close by. And the one thing I will say about these contenders, they're not afraid to fight early. Yeah. We saw a lot of those quick battles coming out, center circle. So this is going to be a chilled affair.
It's identical.
It is quite similar.
It's slightly further to the east. Yeah, just slightly. But there is multiple areas where we've seen this circle finish. Obviously, if you're thinking of hotspot areas, Obviously, you've got the Hominis Generales area, and then the further south, La Bendita, obviously where we just had it in San Martin, over towards Power Grid. So these are the common areas we expect this circle to pull to, and that's what the teams are going to be looking towards. Obviously, if you think of center compounds where Orange is right now for Unity, obviously that compound just to the west of it, it gives you that track straight up towards Power Grid if you need to rotate that way. It's a really strong spot. Probably expect to see Tempest rush to get to that one, actually.
Yeah. So for me, I'd say some of the takeaways I want to look at through this is, GamerLegion doing quite poorly, even though they had somewhat of a decent step towards circle position, and they have their regular-ish drop. I think it's slightly further towards the east than normal. They're normally just kind of the southwest side of Picardo, because that's where Liquid are, normally. So I want to see something better from them, and I'm sure they were quite frustrated themselves, because they were on the right side of the circle if they wanted to kind of end up somewhere that Tempest ended up, for example. So for them, this is pick it up time. ENCE, same to be said. It's a different scenario completely. You don't know the rotations as well. You don't know who's around you as well, but that's beyond the point. You have to be able to deliver in these situations. So I'm looking to see that, and I'd love to see it maybe back-to-back big rounds for Tempest as well, just to kind of claim that stake of, hey, we're the team to look out for. We're coming into this as, we're the big dogs now.
If you think back, and it's a long way, I know, to Minsk.
I don't want to remember
a lot of the teams that came through the gauntlet that was Minsk were teams that performed very well in day one, and that's what I'm really looking towards. Obviously, it gives you that confidence booster, the cushion as well in terms of points. If you're not having a big day one, you've obviously got a few problems maybe with internally in the team. Obviously people playing on LAN instead of online in their comfort environments. But you've also then under even more pressure, and the pressure will build as the days go on. We are obviously, we've been covering the seasons obviously with 96 games, and it gets a little blasé, let's put it that way, when there's that many. But you could see what it meant to Tempest the second they won that game. Game 1 of 20 matches, but there's so much on the line that just picking up that big 20-point win, it meant so much to them already.
Well, I mean, this is the final push, right? This is the, you've run your race, and now you've got that last sprint to finish, and they've fought through contenders. They made it to this point, and now this is where it really matters. It's crazy. It's hard to kind of reset that focus, but I'm hoping we see teams be able to do that, to go, okay, we have to treat this like that best of 20. We can't treat it like a normal season. We have to be very much diligent and on point. And I am seeing early rotations coming out from Tempest, so my eyes instantly go towards them because they are doing those earlier moves. Not a bad little spot for them at the moment.
Yeah, Tempest pull up to this one. I would suggest Unity are being a little greedy with their spread. Obviously, the center circle is kind of in their loot spot, but they are in a 2-1-1 at the moment. You can see, here's an Octave. This is one of this is the Hacienda, and you can see Quickmouth, 4 members of Quickmouth here. So is he going to be able to bail out the back? No, he's not. They're too greedy, and they've lost a player because of it.
And this is the second time in a row, I think, an Octative's one of the first to go down. I don't know if he was the first to get flushed in the last game. I'm pretty sure he was one of the first.
He was the first to go.
And again,
You're right.
it was on his
Mike.
own. It was very isolated. It was a trade back in. Orange did get the knock back, but that it didn't matter. There was no flush to follow. So Unity maybe need to adjust their mentality here.
I figured it out. It's because he doesn't have blue hair this time around. He had blue hair in phase 2.
You're absolutely
right. Might be what it is. We'll see.
Snoopy
was the other one I was talking about. Obviously, he's at the compound that I expected Tempest to actually push to. They didn't go that far, so they might have got away with this one because at this stage, nobody will probably go there because they expect it to be already occupied. So they may have got away from that one. 7 over on the northern side. Obviously, he dropped up that side. That car's not sounding so healthy with a time missing at the back there. I think that was Jokers that caught a slice of him. He is low on health and didn't fancy it anymore.
No, hit the deck, try and get the heal. Maybe just try and play survival here. And Tempest are very close by to this. There's a couple of others. Airstation, miikaz, Jazza not far off either. And this is where we're going to see those teams. If someone's being late to looting, they might get punished here, or, taking their time a little too long. Orange did just manage to get a knock on one of the quick maths boys, but I don't see a flush to follow just yet, so there could be a potential for a revive. Beyond that, though, almost all teams are in. We do still have one team in the southern side just taking their time on entry.
PG-18 and Airstation Mike clashing once again. This time PG-18 are in numbers. It's was a 3v2 at the moment, I believe. I don't think that van from ABeautflDeath can get up kill. Oh no, it was Recrent that came in the van. Managed to make it up there. Strelavac has been found out for Inside Gaming, so we saw him. He was the man that got off the bike and was kind of in the middle of nowhere, and you can see it looks like he's a goner, so Jazza will claim himself a kill. Yeah, Airstation Mike getting on the kill board early once again. That's a good shot from Wanderer.
Nice. That's what you want. He's been trying to bait, it looks like, with the buggy, trying to use the sound of it for them to peek out, try and get a couple of shots. And
he's going to bloody push it.
Not a time
We're looking at a replay, but he's going for it. Here's the shot. Oh,
that was a lovely little bounce on that. The headshot just helps him out so much, but he's pulled up to this, and they're going to make the push on it. But a really big off angle from ToWzErA there to push out of the compound, try and get the off angle, falls back in. Little sloppy on the door peek, if I'm honest. He could have maybe lent that one, maybe been a bit more cautious, a bit more careful, but he was being surrounded. So best of a bad situation. Maybe he was trying to make something of it there, but I felt he could have maybe held his ground a little longer.
Yeah, and they're going to get UP back on his feet. So Airstation Mike down to Fake and Jazza. That's not good for them. They did get the one kill, but losing too early. Pressure on one of the favourites from another one of the favourites, obviously PG18. Coming into this one strongly from the contenders as the #1 spot. ghostar going to be safe. MOORPHEUS with him, formerly known as the Iziko Boars, I believe it was a long time ago, some of these boys.
Could you imagine Polish fans and the Turkish fans all together at once? Can you imagine it?
And the thing is that they're also backed by a Swedish company, which is the weird part.
Yeah, that is odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
How strange.
Isn't it like a power company or something?
I think so, I swear.
It's a really bizarre one.
Hey, look, if they're supporting PUBG, we're all for it, because we're losing out on numbers here. Compot does get a connection. I'm going to move on swiftly before, you know, I get dragged off. Nade in hand. Edelweiss could be in danger, and this could be another PEL team looking worse for wear. Compot does secure what he started, but does he get the flush?
Well, it doesn't look like there's any support to help him out. Maccandark rides the nade wave as it goes through, and you can hear Trainhard backing away from this on Phantom. Is she going to try and... Oh, he kind of is... It was hard, two minds, right? He was like, do I nade it? Or do I go for the gun? Oh, my God. We're going exactly back to where we are. It's a little further north. We've got a whole slice of water treatment in there.
Do you remember those endings? We had a few of those. If we look at the Jokers or DA could have...
Phase 3?
No, we didn't, but they were huge during Phase 2. Now, if you look at DA's positioning, there used to be that split on the road, which used to be a massive compound to take, the one just south of water treatment. And there's one across the road as well. If they go for this, and it does go north, that would be massive. Yeah,
and Jokers have gone for that hillside compound as well, next to them as well. So they're DA obviously trying to look and see what they can get. They're going to see that Jokers had just arrived there. I don't know what sort of vision he has. Obviously, we're watching it with the X-ray, so SIXMO's just sending it in there to have a little look. He might cost him. He should be able to just swerve away from that one. There's nobody downhill to prevent him coming back. He's got to go back in towards last crew. ELGIGANTEN have moved in sort of just behind them. We obviously saw their position a moment ago. 7 have also gone pretty much central point. Quick Math still in Hacienda. It's actually caused problems for obviously the outside teams. We've got Northern Lights and ENCE going long around the east and the west sides of the circle. It's the teams down south that are in problems. Obviously we saw Trainhard a moment ago, GamerLegion. These guys are all down south. Where are they going to end up in this rotate?
I'm looking at ENCE. I don't know where they're going. GamerLegion going to have that long western approach. Yes, it'll be slow side by the time they get around there, but it's going to be a little tricky. There are some compounds, but they're far from ideally of Death Valley still available, which would be unlikely of an ending, and Tornado Energy are very close by to that, so it's a careful take if they want to go for it. And you've got to look at the likes of Tempest as well, have gone from having a huge position to now not quite so ideal. The likes of Quick Maths, very nice. Northern Lights, ELGIGANTEN, 7 with what they have remaining. I'd still say DA and Jokers have suddenly leapfrogged right in towards having a very good spot here. PG18
have snuck in the back here, you can see, of Unity. Snoop is the other side of the road in that compound, so there's a big disconnect between him and Orange here. And now they've spotted these around the side. Do they know about Recrent? That's a decent molly. Pinpoint. You're not getting back in that buggy for a moment. Orange Snow. Was he a former teammate of these? I feel like he might have been. I'm sure at some point or another they probably were.
Potentially. actually. QuizZy's got... Yeah, DC's in a lot of danger. The support is coming, though. Too little, too late, though. It looks like the flush came out. There's the trade back in, but they've lost out on their man. They need to commit to this fully now to get QuizZy out of that position, but he's on red alert. You have the Wanderer there. Recrent's all very close by. Going to pin him into this area. Orange might be able to get in and get to safety, but it'd be very unlikely.
And if they don't get on with this, Inside Gaming and Tempest are slowly coming from behind. Now, there's not too many options for them to go to, so this compound may well be where they end up. Tempest are looking this way. They're hearing the gunfire. They're avoiding Airstation Mike. They might be crashing on the left-hand side of your screen any second. You can see them passing by.
Well, with Recrent just going down, that was actually a big misplay from PG18 to allow this to happen. That Molly's burning, and QuizZy can just be a nuisance now. He knows that Snoopy can't really help him. Snoopy might try and cross the road, but that might be a death sentence. And QuizZy's making a big individual play. Let's just get on board with him, because Abika's now be going for the revive. I don't see a smoke down. This could be a double pickup here, and it should be. Again, flushes Recrent, doesn't get the follow-up, but this is huge work from him.
Yeah, Wanderer. Really,
and there's the nade from Snoopy.
The last man, Snoopy, arrives. The circle completely yoinks away from him and goes to San Martin again. I feel like we're on a replay here. And Tempest are thinking, why didn't we just go back to that hill again? They may well do it, you know, because they went across the Hacienda. They leapfrogged ahead. They could either gatekeep this fight that's happening here and see if they can pick anything up for it. I reckon Unity may just disengage, and they're going to try and flush Wanderer out.
Oh, he's dead.
Orange
is going to see him. Oh, he's a lucky boy to still be alive. Still going to be trying to work his way around. Beautiful work from QuizZy. I want to give a lot of credit to QuizZy there. Yes, Snoopy's nade came in and did some work at the end for sure, but that was a huge bit of play from him, just individually working those angles very well. Pull up towards DA. You do not want to meet that man. Mitraleius has been an animal for DA, and the flush should be Mertz. Is anyone else daring to try and do it? That is a lot of people in a Carly.
That's not good. It's an open top, trying to blast across. Now ELGIGANTEN are taking shots on them. Mitraleius run out of bullets. He switches over. SIXMO manages to get one out there. It's all about securing that point. Who can get it the most? Look towards the other side. Jappy will go down. And last crew in a ball of flames in the fields. Not in a good spot. Akika's the last man standing. He's safe-ish for now. Not really in the center circle. He's way out on the east as well, so it's not good. There's a couple of teams committed to San Martin while this is happening. Northern Lights and Trainhard are both committed to it, and Tornado Energy once again on the hill as they were in the previous matchup just above San Martin.
You know what? ENCE have got a nice little entry point here. That northern side is quite sparse. A lot of the teams who are in water treatment have kind of lent east, so they've taken over the hillside and, you know, I guess north of Hacienda. So them coming in north is going to be quite nice. And there's the last of last crew to go down. It felt inevitable. There was a lot of eyes. If they tried to move either way, they were going to be dead to rights. So Unity make it out of there. This is over towards San Martin on the hillside overlooking it. Some teams committing early. Quick math have the eastern side of it, Northern Lights, the southwest. We do see a couple of others in between.
Yeah, it was a very similar rotation from Trainhard and Tornado Energy from the last game. Tornado Energy ended up coming down the hill and flushing all the Trainhard out, so they've got to be aware of that once again. But this time, GamerLegion are behind Tornado Energy, so we'll see where the circle takes us, whether it pulls in. ELGIGANTEN's still not inside the circle. Everybody else is. They are still out on the far eastern side, but they have a path inside already, so it's not too much of a problem for them.
Hopefully they have vehicles. I do hear 1, 2. There we go. They'll be okay. I think they might get some shots on them, but I don't see the cars being too damaged unless it's a back-to-back headshot sort of deal going on there. And we do, as said, see most people now making it in. Quick math's going for an interesting split here. Some out towards the west of Hacienda and 2 in towards San Martin. So big spread at this point. Let's see where the circle goes. It's going to be pretty defining of who's going to get the cards. That's the Eastern pull. Here we go. A lot of San Martin still in this, but 7. DA, ENCE, nice positioning. Jokers, very good too. And
that's a horrible pull for GamerLegion. There's nowhere to go for them. This left western side of the circle where Jokers is just horrible. You can see Tornado Energy. That's kind of like the only little shack play they had. They lost the tire in the play, so that again cuts GamerLegion out because now they can go north. They got to swing round. Well, ENCE are there. Do they go to the ridge line by water treatment? Maybe that's the only option I can see at the moment. But that's a long flank for them, and I don't think they're going to have any vision on where they can go from there.
No, and the flush did come through. Buster going to pick up the points there towards one of the quick maths players. I think it was WookieBookie who got the initial knock, so that's going to be coming out of the west and south area of Hacienda across the way. Now Northern Lights in danger. They're one of the earlier teams in San Martin, but they had to move across. They were out towards the west. The circle shifted it towards the east. Those nades are coming in. Jazza needs to make a move. Already in so much danger, playing just in these kind of small shacks areas. Not ideal. Another nade comes in. That one was ticked. Not too much. Jazza barely alive.
Oh no, I think there's another one just rolled near him maybe. Oh, his skate, his backpack spotted. And that is Airstation Mike going down 14th place. An early finish for them this time around. That's a knock onto set. GamerLegion are sending it. They've gone in towards Tornado Energy. Can they work it out? No. Fexx Maccandark already down. You can see Ali's going to get hamster down. bjorN, the last man standing. Really, and this is what I was talking about. There just was not any options for GamerLegion. bjorN's going to have to go huge. You can see he's on no hit points in the distance. And really, that has not worked out. They would have been better off at the time going for Jokers. They're going to look back at the VODs and think, okay, we could have done that, based on the fact Tornado Energy just got a knock on the Jokers at the same time. It was one of those plays. They'd been spotted on the hill scouting by ENCE, Jokers, and Tornado Energy. They went for Tornado Energy because it's down the hill. It's the only team they could, fight single-handedly instead of having like 3 teams shoot at them.
Yeah, there was no good option for a rotation. But the problem is that what that does mentally to a player and a team who've just come out of PEL, they're like, oh, we're in contenders, we've just got pushed down.
I think it's like 14th and 13th now, something like that.
Yeah, it's like they are not sitting in a nice spot here, and they barely made it down to this point. They were just going to pip to the post in that final game. So for them, this is a very frustrating beginning. I hope they can recover mentally, because that is going to be very taxing. We do need to start looking at who else is going to be in danger here. We do see ENCE getting old Rustanmar back on his feet. Beautiful death going walkabouts. I like that. That's good information to be found. ELGIGANTEN, nice positioning in the east. Unity not bad. Big split for Tempest there down towards the south. Probably necessary at this point to keep themselves safe, but again, it's getting quite toasty over towards the southern side of the circle.
I would say for GamerLegion, I think most of their points came from Erangel, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not been the greatest in Miramar for them overall.
Very true.
And as far as I know, moving on to Sanhok, they're dropping in the same location. So I guess they're hoping that the circle goes northwest, sorry, like it did when they picked up the win there. But as it is, let's focus on the 12 teams remaining. Will it pull away from San Martin here? It's going to be a grinder if it does. 7 still in a grand location. Snoopy crawling for his life, but Quizzy's just a long way from that one. Now we can see the Jokers slowly getting pushed up on by Tornado Energy, and it goes to the hillside. And ENCE, they're going to be happy about that compound that they managed to just yoink away from Jokers.
Yeah, no, between DA can now pull up towards ABeautflDeath. They can filter themselves in, looking at the teams who come out well in this. That whole northern portion is nice. Tornado Energy need to find their way in, but that southern side is now going to be brutal. I don't know how many teams still have cars down here, probably very few. So the rotation means get on foot and take the fights, which is what we're going to be seeing now. Yeah,
everybody there is dead. San Martin is a kill box is probably the best way to call it. Tempest, they thought they'd found a spot. They decided to crash in on Unity, and it's gone wrong. Trying to bank it off the windowsill there. Orange trying to get it around the side, pre-fires it. Clip will get taken down, the hero of the last matchup, and it leaves WookieBookie, the last man standing, if I'm not mistaken. No to lie, Jordan is still down south as well. The nade clips Orange Snow, but it doesn't quite take him down.
No, and I think there was a bit of a team kill there from WookieBookie too. I don't know what happened in that situation, but he's probably not happy with it either. And you're going to see the push coming in. They try and send their players a little further forward, maybe try and give themselves a step into the circle down the line, but now it gives away that everyone is looking exactly in that direction. You have 7 unleashing bullets on Hjort there, and there he goes.
Oh, he tried to get to the shack. So he tried to give the cover position for WookieBookie on the hill there, but instantly got lit up by 7, and I think ELGIGANTEN sends it in towards the shack, doesn't make it there. Nade finds the northern side. TRYFFELI caught out by DA, and DA are pushing on it,
Yeah, they want to get that dealt with quickly. That can be a real undoing for DA. We do have another battle about to kick off here just in the south. This is going to be constant. Once the Blues on the back, they have to keep moving. They're
going to get so pinned. They're going to say they've got to smoke off quick math here, because they are going to get absolutely slaughtered from the side if they try and push up this hill and train hard. The boom, that's a good flank spot onto Melman. He's oblivious of the situation at the moment. Then again, tabs on him. That's a double. Straight from behind, gets the one, flushes it, and just runs away. Hit and run.
Yeah, you don't overstay your welcome. You have no idea what's going on, but maybe this is all gone wrong for Tornado Energy. The Jokers are holding on to this very well. Tornado Energy did have to walk into them. That was the issue. Down in 12th they go. A swift removal by Tab and Co.
Meanwhile, Wookie Bookie just took out Unity. I think it was a 2v1 down there. May even be more. I'm not too sure, but definitely took down both of those. They don't know where he's going to go from there. Now, the Quick Math. The smokes are not there for Northern Lights, so Quick Math have a clean angle on them. One nade will just finish the whole team off there, and I just saw one getting tossed out. I don't know if it's going to quite find them. They're all going down in the blue. ENCE gets one, and they're just denying points now. Already. DA, meanwhile, on this hillside. We saw them get the one knock on ENCE, but ENCE have backed it up.
Yeah, they've pulled up on this one. They've put their players in the right place. miikaz has got the supporting fire. We do have, again, the final push through over by the northern side. And this has gone to the south. This is hard shift territory. A big naze towards Quick Math. That was huge coming out from Train Hard. And they can just hold them against this wall. They know that they've got this positioning really well. But now the fine balance of when do we move? When do we try and capitalize? That nade could do wonders. It goes to the right. They went to the left.
Yeah, with that circle shift, ENCE just trying to figure their position. They have to fight DA now on that northern side. Jokers are going to be over on the western side. They're looking towards maybe Train Hard, who are holding the angles at the moment for everyone down here. Inside Gaming also, you can see in the distance. They want to try and get a piece of this. Everybody's looking at 3 points right now.
Yeah, this is who mops it up the best, right? Deep there for Northern Lights, holding on for dear life, but it's a rough ride in. You've got the Jokers even spreading down south a little bit to have a look at this. So they could even catch the winners of this situation moving forward. And then the blue starts to move. So Deep is in danger beyond what he imagined. And the nades continue to come towards Quick Math, who are just backs to the blue gaming. There comes the counter nades, but it might be too little now.
Look at Train Hard, though. They're starting to get shot in the back by Jokers. So they've already lost position. ENCE are on the move. They're in the vehicles. They're going in the north. We'll see where they end up. Are they actually just going to try and crash on 7? I'm not too sure. As Furex tries to gun down Quick Math. Noki will catch one with the nade. ENCE have pulled up onto 7 just south of them. So that's all happening in the northern side. They've actually leapfrogged ahead of DA as Train Hard continue to hold on. They still get 4 alive. This is looking good for them.
If they can keep this pushing, this is massive. I don't know how they're going to get to the circle, though. The Jokers, it's a really hard third-party situation. That's why there's so many smokes up here. Quick Maths are being picked off from every direction.
Oh no, look at this.
You have ghostar chiming in. Here comes all of that fire from all the other teams who had potential vision on this. Nice turn on a dime there. And Trainhard still keeps 4 standing. Can they continue this mad dash forward? No, they've lost out on 1 now. There's 2, and they only have 2 more standing.
Yeah, as soon as they were running across that field, you saw them turn from an FPS position, turn, look left, see Jokers all up on the hill shooting at them, see 7 shooting at them down the hill, ELGIGANTEN shooting at them from the other side, and now Inside Gaming from behind at the wall. A team that I actually don't think they realized was there because they were so embroiled in the fight with Quick Math. Now let's take stock of the situation. DA have lost 3 now, so they're down to 1. ABeautflDeath last man standing. ENCE just lost 1 as well. The miikaz went down. He was up close and personal with 7. 7 themselves, only 3 alive in the center compound. The Jokers just lost 2 as well, so DeBoom is the only man on the western side. Down south, we have a solo player that is seniks for Inside Gaming, and ELGIGANTEN. They're going to get 4 on their feet as KnorkiS is going to get revived.
It would be hard to imagine this not going 7's way at the moment. They have center point. They have hard cover to play with. They have the circle again. This has all gone well for them.
This is the Atletico phase ending, right? I think it's the same compound, if I'm not mistaken. This is where like Atletico were holding that center point like 7R and phase were just got picked apart in the fields.
Oh,
exactly where ENCE are.
Hold on. ELGIGANTEN have a way to dig people out of positions now. I saw an Orm coming up to play there, so I don't know who that's on right now, but it doesn't matter. It basically gives them that one-shot kind of knock potential. That's huge when you're coming up against a team who's already in hard cover. That gives them a lot of room to work. Yeah,
ENCE needed that. That's give them, because there's nothing in this field for them. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, that nade's going to BeautflDeath. I thought he was coming towards ENCE. I was like, they are 1 nade away from death. That nade is right on top of him, but I think the wall just blocked it out. DeBoom actually is flanking around the side of ENCE, so that's a problem for them. seniks is trying to work his way in the field. Look at that, he's got nothing, no cover. He's going to try and use the trees that's there, just a little bit. That's all he's got, so looks like he's going to finish the job. ELGIGANTEN there on the move, and I was talking about DeBoom's flanking position. He's found TRYFFELI. This was an opening for them. And now they've got a real worry from the left-hand side.
Yeah, and SKUIJKE, you can see him not even able to help out. He's worried about the other side. You still had DA over there. You had a lot of players over there. seniks has gone down. That felt inevitable. And the Wookiee.
Is that
the
on his
Bush
head?
Wookiee.
Not quite.
Oh my god.
He's tucked against the wall, so I think he's just about avoiding it.
How he's getting away with this. Could be banked off the side. That one, I think he's going to go on the outside of the wall, so he still will be alive. ABeautflDeath is a lucky man here. Yeah,
and the circle's favoured him as well, because it's gone to that northern side, so Seven's compound still in. ENCE still worrying about the boom, ELGIGANTEN. It's really a case of when their ridgeline leaves them. And they know they're ABeautflDeath. They have to deal with him. As soon as they can deal with him, they can sweep around and deal with ENCE. But until that point, they can't do anything.
And I'm wondering if they've actually had contact with him, or this is them just being really, really meticulous.
No, they've killed mert and they killed SIXMO already.
Okay, so this is just them being very aware of it. Still, I like that. Again, we need to wait to see where the circle goes. ABeautflDeath now needs to show that's going to call them all back. That's good work. And if they had another nade, they could feed it through that little gap, and they know where he is. And keeping this position well held, he does finally have to move. I heard the nade being pulled. This should be him dead. Let's see if it goes just right there.
Oh, yeah.
What?
And then the play zone will take him down, right? In a minute? I don't know.
Yeah, it will do. It's 30 seconds worth. Please.
Thread the needle.
Oh
thread the needle.
Oh my god,
no.
how? What is this, like, anti-flak jacket he's got on? How is he standing?
And he's got the first aid. He's just like, this is fine, this is fine. This is just another normal day for DA.
Because they can't do anything until they remove him. They need it gone. So they need to either wait the 20 seconds.
The mollies.
Oh my god.
There's no way out to run out anymore. He's actually smoked through it, so he won't see the molly, will he? Surely he heard the spread, right?
He'll
heard it,
yeah.
But he can't. He either runs through the blue or runs the other side. So, meanwhile, the boom is creeping up on ENCE as well.
No, I cannot go that way.
He's just going to go in the play zone.
All right, so game on time for ELGIGANTEN. It's instantly pressure relieved. Let's look elsewhere. ENCE engaged. They find the boom. He's gone down. He was a bit of a thorn in the side, but we have to look at 7 here. They're playing out, and there's the orb coming in.
Yes, you love to see it, don't you? KnorkiS managing to find the one. Squeaking out. The last man for ENCE. Don't think he's going to be able to get the revive up, but ToWzErA putting some serious flak into Marcelek there. Yeah,
that's a scary one. That keeps you, I guess, grounded here. But beautiful work from the Orm. This is what I'm saying. It can dig you out of these scenarios where someone has hard cover against you. Krabik's gone down the follow-up to get the flush. That's worth it for the points here. This is please, I don't care about this.
Please. Yes, there we go. Love it. Love it.
That's
oh,
nice.
Yes, that's exactly what we wanted. Thank you very much. Replay. SKUIJKE. He's down. He's got spare flak. Okay, so spare tier 2 armor there, but unfortunately the blue is on his back, and you're taking a hit there, son. And he's just gonna have to step forward now. Center point, ELGIGANTEN, KnorkiS, and ghostar are basically the center of this map. So everybody's got to come to them, and that means these 3 members of 7, they've got to sweep around. That's the north dealt with, so they only need to worry about what's coming out of that building.
Yeah, let's stick with the players, the front 2, ghostar and the man with the Orm right now. Those 2 are the ones who can really do the damage. The others are holding the flanks, making sure that no one's going to push through on the wider extremities. Now they know where the Orm is, but if you've got the Orm, play to it. Take these peeks, land those shots. Krabik just gets absolutely backhanded. He can't peek anymore. He needs to depend on his teammates. They know they hit a big shot on him there. They're going to try and move up. ToWzErA finds Morpheus. It's game back on.
ToWzErA is a beast with the Mini 14. For many a year, I've been saying that this is the time for him to deliver 7. They started to step it up at the end of Phase 3. This is a good flank position. He sees one. He knows there's one in the smoke on the right-hand side as well.
Orm's going to be in the side of his brain.
Comes in again. And now the last
2 shots. 2 shots is all he's got left, and they're pushing this. Maybe ELGIGANTEN need to be aware of this push coming out right now. This is still a 2v3. It's very doable, but 7 have so little cover to work with. If they have nades, smokes, mollies, they need to use them now.
Remember, they've used all their nades onto DA. The ghostar gets the flank around, and the second comes in. That is going to be ELGIGANTEN picking themselves up a 12-kill game to match what Tempest did in game number 1. And oh, yes. I know Paul's going down there. I want some words from KnorkiS. I don't know how good his English is, but that Orm was put to work.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful display. Really well handled. Good positioning in the final circle. Kept calm, delivered the shots when it was needed. That's what you want to be seeing from a team like that.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. 7, they held the compound the whole time. You've got to be feeling they could do a bit more from it. DA, they got themselves 4th place again. Consistency can absolutely get them back in the PEL. It wasn't to be, though, for ENCE. They got flanked by the Jokers, flanked by Giganten. And, well, they felt the pain. Let's go down to Paul. He's down there with ELGIGANTEN.
Yes, down here with the LG boys. First of all, congrats, because that was a good win. But talk me through it, because positioning meant everything, but also weapon meant everything in that last round.
Yeah, we had pretty good gear. So we started our standard, we played it slow, we get the second shrink, so we just got middle. Then sadly zone started shifted away, but we kept it on the edge of the circle and just played from there. Then we got some lucky zones and we just work with that. We just steal some kills and farm people around, because we got really good position in the zone.
Yeah, it was definitely a positional win, but how important is it to win on day number 1, knowing that there's so many ahead of you? There's 3 more days around, 20 matches in all, but is it really important to get one today?
It's super important to boost our confidence. Next game's probably gonna be even better to better when we pick people, we're not gonna be afraid, we're gonna be fighting with confidence.
Yeah, definitely, and it seems to have worked as well. You're already playing very well together.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, we practiced a lot and we came prepared. I think we can do really good.
Well, very best of luck and well done to ELG. They are winners in match number 2.
We saw there, of course, Red Eye chatting to ELGIGANTEN, second chicken winners. And these contenders teams, you heard them say they've been practicing. They want this really badly. 2 contenders teams, 2 chicken dinners. I want to focus a bit on ELGIGANTEN right now, though, because they finished 10th in contenders, kind of mid-pack. Are they the dark horse, though?
I wouldn't say dark horse, but at the same time, it's great to see because they're representing ELGIGANTEN now for the
I'm going to
time.
push this to Avenger first. Avenger, you
Yeah.
I just cut Frost out. Why
I was going to counter Frost. I definitely think they're a dark horse because once these guys get started, I feel like they're very calm. I had the pleasure of talking to ghostar before the game started, before our first game started actually, and he said, you know what, we're pretty confident. We're looking like we're not going to be contested. We're going to have some teams that we know how to play. We're like the PL teams, we're not afraid of them, so they're very confident, they're calm, they're collected, and I definitely think that these guys could be one of the dark horses. I don't have them in my top four, but I think they're a contender to maybe surprise.
Every single team I ask him about, he's like, oh, I don't really have them in my top 4. Just now
true.
we're going to get to
That's
the
not
top
true.
4.
There's 16 teams you haven't asked all of them yet.
Well, at the same time, we didn't see them win here with a good amount of kills. I think it was 12, right?
Yeah.
And in the previous game, we saw them with 6 kills. Now, this is only Miramar, though. Now we're going to be moving over to Stanok, and after that, it's going to be Ariel as well. And you got to take that into account. You got to prevail on those maps. You got to make sure you do good there, or it's not going to be good enough.
Do you think we're going to see that change up? I mean, you mentioned it. You do see it occasionally with these contenders teams. The moment we get onto a different map, complete different bunch of teams sitting in the top spots.
I mean, the thing is, on Stanok, compared to the other maps, you have a completely different playstyle. You cannot drag out the fights. You cannot just jump into the center. You got to play kind of more aggressive towards the edges. That's how you're going to prevail on that map. At the same time, we don't really know what's going to happen yet with the teams here. They might just try to continue on the road that they're doing right now. Will that be good enough? We'll have to see.
A bit of a better performance from 7 and ENCE, coming in that 2nd and 3rd spot. Not a good showing from most of our PEL teams on the first game, obviously feeling the teams out. GamerLegion, though, still not performing.
I mean, it's 2 games deep here. I don't want to give them too much of a hard time, but yeah, you definitely, as we talked about in the beginning, you don't want to have a bad first day, because when the snowballs for these contender teams, when the snowball starts for these guys, they're going to be so hyped, they're going to be so confident, they're going to push, they're going to be aggressive, and they're going to be over-aggressive to what the PL teams are going to be used to.
I mean, this is the day when you're going to have least amount of pressure on you. The further we move on, the more pressure you're going to have, because you have less and less games, less and less time to actually adapt and make sure that you actually win the games.
This is what it's going to come down to at the end of the day, is who can adapt the fastest, who can perform on every single game. That's what's important. I want to talk about Unity's specific decision. And we've seen it now in 2 maps, so I'm presuming it's a bit of a style that they want to push. This very aggressive gameplay straight out the gates. We saw it on map number 1. We saw it again now in game 2, where they took out PG-18 early, working in their favor, potentially to just rack up as many kills as they can from the start of the game.
I feel like that's a really good strat. If you have the time in the start, there's not going to be any teams to third party you. So you can take all the time you want to actually make sure you wipe a team, you get those 4 points. 4 points per game is not too bad. that's only the start as well. You're going to get their loot, you're going to get their spot to play from, and from there you can work it on.
Let's take a look at that head-to-head now. Of course, 7 Esports coming down from PEL, fighting to keep their spots. ELGIGANTEN, they want in.
2,000 damage though nearly for 7 with only 4 kills. It talks to how much pressure, how much impact they've had. Obviously, they had that compound for a long time, but they're pushing everybody out. They're making sure that everybody else having a hard time to get to them. Obviously, ELGIGANTEN did manage to get into a great spot and have a really good spot in especially in that last circle. But these guys, 7, they have had put so much pressure onto all the other teams trying to get into the circle, and it's going to cost for all the other teams to get in there, obviously. But it's nice to see 4 kills for that as well for a center spot. Talks to how center they were throughout the whole match.
Yeah, I mean, they're still going to get 10 points throughout the whole game here. And it's not bad. Sometimes you won't be able to get all the kills you want, but at the same time, getting yourself a first, second, or third place, that's not bad at all, especially in the start here.
And also, you see Krabik and Sadovik is actually the 2 guys that managed to get the vast majority of the damage done. Also, it talks to how experienced these guys are.
This is actually a high amount of damage we're seeing here.
Nearly
making
1,000,
over 900 we saw in the last game. Orange had 970 as well. They're close to 1K already in the first games. That shows how aggressive they are, how hungry they are, how much they really want this.
To be fair, 1,000 damage with 1 kill, that's pretty insane.
Yeah.
It really talks to how active these guys have been throughout the whole match.
It is about that aggression, though, and that once, because at the end of the day, you want to be in PEL, you want that spot. When you look at these teams now, when you've seen these first 2 maps, you think we're still feeling each other out, still deciding how this is going to go?
Yeah, kind of. I'm surprised PG18 didn't get more than 3 points in just these 2 matches. Obviously, we are only 2 games in. We do have 18 more, but I was expecting them to kind of blow off from the start. They still have a massive chance to make it back, though. These guys are ready to be here, and they have a really good drop spot on, obviously they're dropping a bootcamp on Senak, so I think they're going to be doing good on Senak.
This is my favorite thing. I was going to say my favorite thing about promos is that the teams that you think will perform well don't, and then you get these other teams that come up because there's so much on the line. Everyone wants the PEL spots.
Not just that, but if you're coming in from contenders, being first, second, third, fourth, you're in the top. People are expecting you to do good here as well. If you're being on the lower part, let's say bottom 4 there, coming into this, you have less amount of pressure on you, and that's going to be easier for you to try to make something happen from that.
Both of you have played. Both of you know what that pressure does. Do you think that plays a very big role? Because sometimes the chat will say, that doesn't matter. But the truth is, if you don't think that there's too much expectation on you, does it make it a bit easier to pop off in the ring?
Definitely think so. The pressure from Orc, pressure from teammates, pressure from everywhere, I think it's a huge factor. Pressure from fans, family, all this that are the close proximity around you. I think it's a huge impact, especially to the less experienced guys that come in here and they really want to get into PL, but they're maybe not performing to the level that them and their family and their fans have expectations to.
And with the pressure also comes mistakes. The higher the pressure, the higher is the risk that you're going to make mistakes. Those mistakes might cost you the game. It might just be one person making that mistake, but that might be the game-changing thing for the whole promos here.
Talking about game-changing, how do you change up your game now as we move into Sanok?
Continue to reset every game. There's just one thing in PUBG. When we play 5 maps a day, you reset from every game. You don't want to let your last game get to you. If it's a 0-point game, 1 point, continue. Just continue fighting, continue pushing. Don't lose your aggression. Don't lose your your proactivity, I feel like, because you want to continue pushing, especially in mid-game.
You want to make sure you don't sit too comfortable, even though if you win the game. Make sure that you're actually ready, because there's a new map coming up, new game totally, new play styles from the other teams. You got to adapt, and that's the key of the whole thing here.
I always have an opportunity to ask them a bunch of questions. Maybe you think my questions are rubbish. Maybe you have questions that you want to ask them. Whatever it is, you can do that now. Just tweet us with #AskPEL, and the gents on the desk will try and answer your questions. We want to get to know all of these teams that are fighting to get into Phase 1 of the 2020 PEL. So let's find out a little bit more about Train Hard.